What's going on, everybody? B. Scott, I'm here with
Godzilla.
And on today's show, we're bringing you the matchups ahead of Week 14. We do it every single week. We're going to go through the matchups. We're going to talk about the spreads, talk about the picks, and give you our opinions on every single matchup. So keep locked and loaded right here at the first four downs.
You already know. 11-2 last week. Let's go get it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. B. Scott, God here, and we're going over the matchups heading into Week 14. We go through every single matchup. We give you our opinions and our picks for the week. So before we get to today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff, and then comment. If there's anything you want to know more about, drop in the comment section. We'll be glad to give you our opinions. Last week, obviously,
I'm like Jesus around.
Okay, yeah, God lit it up 11-2. I lost a lot more matchups than that. I was closer on some of the over-unders, but honestly, some of the spreads were a little different. So this week, we got some good spreads to be able to choose from. So
let's go ahead.
Let's start with it. Atlanta Falcons on the road against Carolina Panthers. Carolina -2.5, 42 over-under. Atlanta, what could you say? They're kind of a messy team overall. The defense stinks. The offense, no Calvin Ridley. That's hurting them. Matt Ryan's getting it done okay. They're beating bad teams, but they're getting blown out by good teams.
Kind of sound like Buffalo.
And Carolina really is in a very similar boat here. So this, I think, is a pretty evenly matched game. Yeah. I like Carolina based on the defense. I think the defense is going to step it up here. They already beat Atlanta once this year. No CMC. That does hurt the offense. We got a new offensive coordinator for Carolina Panthers. We'll have to wait and see how that shakes out.
Yeah, that's crazy. They gave Joe Brady the axe.
Yeah. I can't believe it, so early considering. And they've gone through quarterbacks. You know what I mean? They're, obviously, Sam Darnold's not the future. And Cam Newton, really, is he going to, carry it on? We don't know right now. But
that's what I'm saying. I think that's ultimately what it was. And, you seen Newton get benched in that game. And I think that Joe Brady didn't adapt to the starter there. And you can say the incumbent starter there because Cam Newton is the world to the Carolina Panthers. And for them not to have a game plan set up decent enough to hold in any kind of game or have any kind of production is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Flat out embarrassing.
Yeah, of course.
For a team that's both of these teams still in a hunt. So you look at it, they both 6-7. What can they do possibly here? You've seen Carolina run through them last time. And, honestly, Chuba Hubbard had a good game against them, even though CMC is out of this game. But looking at the spread, 2.5, this is scary, and I'm probably staying away from betting this. What you got going on?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I wouldn't bet it just because it is a divisional matchup.
Yeah.
These games typically run close. We talked about a lot of divisional matchups splitting down the middle. We already know Carolina has beaten the Atlanta Falcons already. I could see Atlanta coming in and winning this game. Why? I don't know. They probably shouldn't. Carolina's defense played good in spots, but honestly, have been blown up in spots too.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to make of it. I'll tell you right now. I like Cam Newton. I think they'll be able to run the ball effective against this Atlanta Falcons team. They got a couple playmakers, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. So I think Carolina's going to get it done. I'm going to take the 2.5 if I was to pick it because I think they're going to win by more than the field goal anyway. I think it potentially could go over because Atlanta, I do think, can still score some points. Yeah. But they have been shut out. So, I'm just torn with this game altogether, but I'm going to take Carolina to win.
Even this game and all the games on the slate here, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at a lot of divisional games, and the theme of this week is probably backdoor scoring, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a lot of opportunity for people to score in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? In this one, Atlanta is not a team that you can necessarily put away a lot of times. You got Cordell Patterson, who's an slash guy who can get it done. We've seen Mike Davis, whatever, 17-yard touchdown.
Might as well be Mark Davis out there.
Out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, Atlanta is not a team that you can necessarily put away at all. I like Carolina with the 2.5, but, who's to know? I'm not betting this game at all, but I like Carolina 2.5, and I think that the defense can step up here a little bit. It's really a coin toss being that, both of these teams are still in the playoff hunt for that 8th spot.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of teams this week are going to play a lot harder than they have been earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of backdoor scoring here.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still picturing Mike Davis and Mark Davis's hair. You know what I mean? Just imagine that picture. I'm telling you, we're on the Carolina Panthers. We'll move on. We got the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
On the road against Cleveland Browns. Cleveland -2.5. 43 over-under here. I like the under, period. I just still don't think these teams are going to score points. I like Cleveland to come out, and I think they'll be able to put up some points. Hopefully running the ball with Nick Chubb. They didn't run effectively just 2 weeks ago. They got to get the run game going. Kareem Hunt should be, once again, more healthy in this one than he was in the last one. Baltimore Ravens. What can you say about them? They've really struggled over the last few weeks scoring points. They've won some close games. They've won close games all year. The defense, they lost Marlon Humphreys. That's going to hurt them, but I'm not too worried about it. It's not like the Cleveland Browns wide receivers are going off anyway. I can't believe Baltimore's not favored here, being that they're leading the division and they're 8-4. You know what I mean? So it's like, how could Baltimore not be favored here? But I gotta roll Baltimore at the plus 2.5. My favorite is to tease it. We'll talk about that later. But 2.5, I think Baltimore's going to get this victory.
Yeah, I think so too. You look at Marlon Humphreys being out, and the reason why they're not being favored right now. You know what I mean? Like they've had a lot of key significant injuries. Also, if you listen to Jim Harbaugh's commentary over the week, they want to go more no huddle. It's because people or these teams are lining up against the Baltimore Ravens and calling their plays, and this is what's going on. You know what I mean? So that up tempo type of offense can drive these defensive linemen for Cleveland, and tire them out pretty much. That's exactly the game plan, what they want to do. And I think that in any game against any team, Baltimore has a significant chance of coming back as long as you have Lamar Jackson under center. Yeah. And so far, the game plan has been like, we don't care how many interceptions he throws. We know that he can bring us back on his skill and his talent alone. You know what I mean? But these receivers are going to have to catch this ball in this one. And I think that they can beat Cleveland. You look at Cleveland 2-4 against the spread at home with a margin of victory 1.4. You know what I'm saying? Points. I think Cleveland covered this because they've been covering close games all season long. I got this another game over 43, which we have seen this in the Lamar Jackson poop game where he had to go go in the locker room and take the log. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. If I didn't say it before, the Atlanta Carolina, I got that over 42 as well, but I got this one over 43, and I got Baltimore winning this one out.
Okay, yeah, I'm on the same boat. I really think Baltimore just has a great chance to win the football game. Like I mentioned, I'm surprised that they're not favored. So I get it. Cleveland's at home. They give them the benefit of the doubt in this one. It's a divisional game. But Cleveland's offense, Baker hasn't played well. Yes, Jarvis Landry should be a little bit healthier in this one. Austin Hooper, the only lone tight end left on that roster. You know what I mean? With Njoku out with COVID, Harris Bryant out. So can Cleveland move the football effectively? They got to get the run game going. I still just like Baltimore. They can score in bunches. They really can. They have explosive, dynamic playmakers. On to the next matchup, Seattle Seahawks on the road against Houston Texans. Seattle minus 9.5 on the road. 41 over-under. That's really, really low for any NFL game. You'll get more to that. I have to like the over here because I think Houston, I get it's tough. It's hard to back a Houston team considering they've really struggled. Tyrod Taylor's played poorly.
And they're the only team eliminated from playoffs.
Yeah. So, well, the Detroit Lions too, but
almost, but not the Texans are completely eliminated.
Okay. Okay. But Seattle, you've seen it last week. They played well. They beat the 49ers. They beat them twice on the season. 2 of their 4 wins or whatever came from.
It looked better.
Yeah, it came from the San Francisco 49ers. I give them the credit. They got it done. They got the victory when they needed it. Now they're on the road against Houston Texans. Yes, I think Seattle will win this football game. If you want to tease this to 2.5, I'm okay with that. Or throw it in a big teaser with your 10 points, however you want to take it. You know what I mean? I think Seattle's going to win the football game. I highly, highly doubt the Houston Texans pull off this victory. Now Davis Mills is going to be under center. No Tyrod Taylor. We'll see what magic he can bring. Brandon Cooks is healthy. They got They got their receiving core somewhat healthy. David Johnson should be back for this game too. Both these teams can't run the football effectively, but I like Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I'm going to side with that either way. I like Seattle. If I was going to take the spread, I like Houston at the plus 9.5. I really think they can hang within a touchdown of the Seattle Seahawks. Maybe 10 points if you want to buy 1 point, but ultimately Seattle's going to get the victory.
Yeah, I like everything you just said there. You know what I'm saying? One of my locks of the week, if watch the end of the video, we got the locks, best bets, what we do here. 41 points, that's way too low. I got that as a lock. I was going over this number. You look at Seattle, Russell Wilson and his finger, he been looking pretty good lately. You know what I'm saying? It's that middle finger that's the one.
Yeah.
That touches it. You know what I'm saying? I think they can get it done through the air. You know, Houston's defense ain't worth a damn anyway. You know what I mean? You got Grenard and all these guys coming at you, but they did lose Cunningham. just waived him because he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Obviously. Davis Mills is named the starter in this one. And you look at Davis Mills as a home guy, you know what I'm saying? He's played very well at home. First game under fire against Carolina. When Carolina were hot early in the season, he didn't do too well, but he didn't do too bad. He didn't throw an interception. I think he threw like 160 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But against the New England Patriots and the LA Rams, he threw 302 touchdowns plus. You know what I mean? So
they also probably they should have beat the Patriots. They were up in that game.
yeah, I don't know what happened there, but they lost. You know what I'm saying? But
That's Houston.
You know, both of these teams are terrible. Like I said, Houston's already eliminated from the playoffs at 8 losses. You might as well say Seattle's eliminated, given the division. But I think that, you know, just for the game plan of what the future may hold, I think Russell Wilson and company get it done there. I like Seattle to win this game hands down. I don't know if it's going to be 9.5, but I just like them to win money line. This is a game that I'm staying away from other than the total.
Yep. Okay. So we'll move to the next matchup. We got the Las Vegas Raiders on the road against Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City at home minus 9.5, 48 over under. And, Kansas City's defense played very well. The offense still has struggled a little bit at times. They're moving the football more effective, but they've eliminated almost altogether the big play ability.
Have they stopped shaving points?
Yeah, maybe. I'll tell you what, the defense is playing very well because they're getting rest and able to play, exactly half of football, which is what you should be playing, 25 to 30 minutes where you want your defense on the field. Las Vegas Raiders, coming off a loss, very, very close game with the Washington football team. Las Vegas Raiders tend to step it up against the Kansas City Chiefs. They really do. No Darren Waller. That hurts. Obviously, we know Kenyon Drake. He's out too. You got Josh Jacobs and the old man, Peyton Barber. What else can you say on offense? Hunter Renfro's been great. Deshaun Jackson, hopefully, maybe he can make a play in this one. But Kansas City's defense played very well. I wouldn't bet against the Kansas City Chiefs. I just think the Raiders might be able to keep it within 9.5 points. If you want to buy a point to 10.5, I think they could keep it within 10. So I like the Raiders on the plus 9.5. I don't think they win this game. And if you want to tease the Chiefs down to 2.5, I like that, obviously, because I think the Chiefs get it done. I think it's going to be over. I think there's just going to be points scored in this game.
I think for fantasy purposes, this is a game that you want to be very attracted to. You got Josh Jacobs, who actually kills the Kansas City Chiefs at times, you know what I mean, through his career. And the blessing here is that Kenyon Drake has broken his ankle and is probably out of football and destroying backfields for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But other than that, for the last 5 games, the Raiders have only been held to 17 points. I don't see how they take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, take the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City, they need the rest of these wins to be substantially huge. You know what I'm saying? For them to be believable and all this. I mean, really, they just need to win, and I think they do win here. But the minus 450, I don't like it at all. No, Kansas City in this number 9.5, you're not attracted to it at all. But, with the Raiders only scoring 17 points or getting close to that, I mean, how can I bet against Kansas City at this point? They're fully healthy. They got Clyde Edwards-Helaire back, which, he is not the tier 1 of running backs right now, but he's effective and he can get the job done, especially against this Raiders team that's not playing very good defense. I like Kansas City to cover 9.5, to be honest with you. I think this is a 2-score game, and by 2 scores, I mean 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Kansas City, I want to say, has allowed 17 or fewer points in the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
They've held teams like the Dallas Cowboys, albeit with no wide receivers, to 9 points.
That's
they held Green Bay Packers, albeit, I want to say with no Aaron Rodgers. I think they played with no Aaron Rodgers, 7 points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they've held some teams on
Jordan
defense
Love,
over the last 4 or 5 games. The defense really started to pick it up. They're getting the pass rush home. The secondary's cleaned up in spots, playing very well. And the Raiders are not playing as well. So you got to go with the Chiefs here for the victory. I just like the 9.5. I really do. Maybe you get it to 10.5. But on to the next matchup. We got the New Orleans Saints on the road against the New York Jets. Saints minus 5.5.
It's one of those ones.
43 over under. Now, there's always, for the last 5-6 weeks we talked about it, there's always a 7-point favorite. Right now the Saints are 5.5, but
where's
7
Mike
points.
White?
Yeah, I don't know. You got to get him out there, but Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. No Tevin Coleman, not that big a deal, but he was their early down back. He was doing effective enough. So you're down to Ty Johnson and Austin Walter. That's the running backs.
Little bitty.
Elijah Moore's going to try and give it a go, but he may not. He's looking on the wrong side of questionable right now. And if he's out of this game, how could you like Zach Wilson and the rest of this team to beat a Saints team that, albeit, has not been playing well over the last few weeks, but they still have dynamic playmakers, and they get a healthy Alvin Kamara, who should be well rested, against the Jets front that's given up so many yards. You know what I mean? And touchdowns.
Yeah, they give up the most yards
league.
in the league. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
of
Like
course.
390-ish, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
per game. But, I mean, I'm looking at this in a different aspect. I'll let you get to your Saints. But, you know, you look at Russell Wilson, you know what I'm saying, the last couple of weeks with the mallet finger came back. You know, he was down for a minute, then came back a little bit too early. He's just now getting right. And he's prolific throwing the ball, the deep ball, everything that you want to do, that teardrop that he throws, that wasn't there. Now, Taysom Hill, on the other hand, has, you know, he can't hit a barn with a football.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He has a mallet finger. So I don't understand how that's really going to help him at all. Is he going to be another running back? I just don't see this happening against his Jets defense. I don't. I swear. I think that, you know, New Orleans, yes, they're a solid football team, and I think they can play really good at home. But I don't think that they're going to stop the Jets completely and shut them out. I don't. There's 5.5. If you tease it up to 12.5, I kind of like it a little bit. I'm leaning towards that a little bit. I don't know about a total. I do have the Saints winning the football game, but I don't know if they're going to even get close to the number.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be under. I don't think the Jets are going to be able to score that many points. They are at home, so maybe they could, but without their playmakers, I just don't see how. The New Orleans Saints, the one thing they can do, just, you know, you take a page like this, you rip it out, the Bill Belichick handbook of Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills, and you run the ball 45 times. That could happen, and guess what? Taysom Hill can average well over 5 to 6 yards per carry. They wouldn't be able to get that offense off the field. That's how I really feel with the New Orleans Saints. I don't think the Jets are going to have enough firepower. The Saints defense is going to be well rested. They're going to be able to run the football very good enough. Taysom Hill may not have to throw it more than 10 to 15 times. So I think I like the Saints at 5.5. I think they're going to be able to get it done by a touchdown.
Yeah, I like Saints money line. That's my pick.
Okay. So on to the next matchup, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road against Tennessee Titans. Tennessee at home, minus 8.5. 43.5 over under. And if there was a team that would lose a game that was favored by 7, it could be Tennessee.
Yeah, really.
They're coming off back-to-back losses, albeit they lost to the Houston Texans and then they lost to the New England Patriots. They do get Julio Jones back. Can they establish a run game against this Jacksonville team? They've already beat the Jacksonville Jaguars by 2 scores earlier on in the season.
Yeah, but Derrick Henry lit them up.
That's true. But Jacksonville, what can you say good about them right now? What are they doing well? Nothing. They're benching their best player. All the news all week long was Trevor Lawrence saying, "Why do we have James Robinson sitting on the sideline? He's clearly our best player, and he's sitting on the sideline." They benched him because he fumbled the ball. Then they bring in Carlos Hyde. Then he fumbles the ball, and then they allow Carlos Hyde to go back out there. I just don't know what the offense is doing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the defense is played good in spots, but is not good.
Young defense, yeah.
It's not good, you know. So and Tennessee, their secondary is poor, but there's no way I can choose the Jacksonville Jaguars to go on the road and beat the Tennessee Titans. I just can't do it. I don't love the 8.5 either, to be honest, because that's a big number for a team that's missing a lot of playmakers. So I don't really know where to go with this bet. I mean, personally, if you're going to tease it, I like Tennessee to win. So tease it down to 7, 1.5 for Tennessee Titans. I think it's going to be over, maybe, because Jacksonville can score at times, but they haven't been scoring at all. So I don't know. I'm just torn with this game altogether. Tennessee's going to win the football game.
Yeah, for you know, you look at the playoff run and the standings and where they at. This is a must-win game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, I don't really like the 430 at the money line. I don't like the total. Only way I can take this game is if you tease this 6-7 points to 1.5, 2.5 points, and I'll go Tennessee. You know, you look at the committee at running back that they have with Hilliard and Deontay Foreman. I think they can get the job done on the ground. If you look at, like I've been saying against Jacksonville, the only way to beat them is if you run, you know, 30, 40 times a game. You know what I'm saying? I think they can get this done here. They did it earlier in the season with King Henry. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. Well, hopefully not, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That was a bad thing to say right now, but yeah, I don't see Jacksonville winning this game at all. I really don't. They can shock the world, and Urban Meyer will probably still take a flight back without him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is not a complete football team right now, and you know, against a division rival who is number one in their standings. You know what I mean? I got to take Tennessee coming off a bad beat, off of the bye. They should be fresh.
Yes.
Rolling, I'm going to take Tennessee to tease this game, 6 points, 7 points.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry, I want to say, has averaged 180 yards rushing on this against the Jacksonville Jaguars over the past 2 seasons. You know what I mean? So
if you give 90 to one running back and 90 to the other
exactly,
running back, they could probably
you'll
get
be
this
fine.
done.
So I like I'm in the same boat. I think Tennessee gets this done. Jacksonville, I just don't see. There's just too much question marks.
They suck.
So on to the next matchup, we got the Dallas Cowboys on the road against the Washington football team. Dallas minus 4.5 on the road, 48 over under. And look, Dallas favored 4.5 on the road. I'm a little surprised because they're giving Dallas the benefit of the doubt in this. You know what I mean? Really, Vegas is. Washington football team's been playing better football than Dallas Cowboys, especially over the last month. Good. So it's like, how are they not getting a little bit closer here? I think there's a reason for the 4.5. It almost makes you have to take Washington football team. You know what I mean? Because the Dallas Cowboys, they haven't been playing good. And you know that Tony Pollard more than likely might be out. You know Zeke's already hobbled still. They're saying he's saying himself 2 to 3 weeks till he's back right.
Yeah.
So, or how are they going to run this football? And Washington's front actually has played very good against the run on the season so far. They've been susceptible to the pass. And yes, Amari Cooper came out with the quote. I just read it. I don't exactly remember word for word, but basically saying like, look, no one's really seen our full wide receiver core full strength yet. And that's true. Week 1, Michael Gallup gets hurt, and we haven't seen it since. Now, last week you saw all 3 receivers on the field, but Amari Cooper dealing with COVID symptoms, you know what I mean, it's still like coming back. So he only played 35% of snaps last week. This is the first time we're going to see a complement of 3 legit receivers plus a Dalton Schultz established on the offensive side. Now, the Washington football team, they've been running the football very well over the past month, period. Antonio Gibson averaging 25 carries, I want to say, over the past 4 weeks. J.D. McKissick, I'm not sure if he's back or not. If he is, that's good for that helps their offense. And Terry McLaurin. The secondary of the Dallas Cowboys do make plays, but Terry McLaurin's a great route runner, and he can beat those corners, really, in the routes. And now it's up to Taylor Heineke to make the throws. But ultimately, I think Dallas Cowboys get this game done in a tough environment. Don't get me wrong. Washington football team beat Tampa Bay Buccaneers just a couple weeks ago, so I'm by no means am I sitting here saying it's a lock or anything like that. I think Dallas Cowboys need the win. I'm going to give them the 4.5, and I think it's going to be over 48.
Yeah, you look at it, Tony Pollard out of his game, who's obviously been more effective as a running back in that system over Ezekiel Elliott. He's been like completely inefficient all season long. Well, especially in the last, month and a half of football.
Yeah.
Obviously a knee injury lingering here. This is a tricky one, you know what I'm saying? Where the weather could be really bad or the field could be really bad. So how does Dallas win this game, knowing that everything on paper, even their record against the spread, even everything that they got, how do they win this football game? And I think they win the short game passing. That secondary ain't shit for Washington, and that's how they're going to get it done. Yeah. I think you look back to where, Amari Cooper had, 18 targets in this game. You know what I mean? I think this is where they get it done in chunk plays, and they just keep this thing going. Greg Zuerlein to finish this off. I think Dallas wins this game hands out. I like the 205, especially money line. The 205 money line, especially if you want to put it in a parlay, is more of a lock. If you got that kind of parlay lined up, but for the 4.5, if you want to buy a point down, I ain't mad at you there either. I think Dallas wins this game. Now, Washington, they have been playing pretty good football. They got a lot to fight for. They are the division champions right now, and but we seeing, a team that's not very far from being completely, fully healthy in the Dallas Cowboys. And I think, the Dallas can win this game. But what they should not do is take them lightly and guarantee a victory like Mark McCarthy has just done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? This could be a dogfight. And I like Washington 4.5. You know what I'm saying? But I like Dallas to win this game.
Okay.
I'm probably going to stay away from betting, to be honest with you. But,
yeah,
Dallas wins.
It's hard. I know it's hard to back Dallas too because they have some letdowns.
Yeah.
They just haven't played very efficient football at all. And Washington is playing great football, very sound football, very balanced offense,
solid,
keeping the offense on the field, keeping those the defense fresh. So it's very close, but I like Dallas to win the football game. So
and I'm leaning towards the under in that game.
Okay, I can see it, but depending on time management, especially with Washington football
and
team.
The weather, you know what I mean. We never know what happens.
Now on to the next matchup. We got the Detroit Lions on the road against the Denver Broncos. Denver minus 10.5 here.
Before we even get into all that, rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas, Denver Bronco for life. God, 33 years old. That's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yes.
And I think this team is going to be highly motivated to get a W out there. I don't know about the spread and all that, but I know they're going to be playing a little bit harder in the wake of his passing.
Yeah, of course. Outstanding player, Demaryius
Yeah.
Thomas.
Probably Hall
Top
of Famer.
5.
We'll see.
Top 5 fantasy player for the wide receiver position for
Monster.
a few years, So this game, the Detroit Lions coming off a high moral victory and an actual victory. You know what I mean? They beat the Minnesota Vikings, which is not surprising, of course, because that was one of my favorite locks. Is Minnesota's no way they could lose, and they did. Last second play, Detroit at home, but now they're on the road in Denver. This is not an easy place to play football.
No.
Mile High Stadium. Denver plays very, very good at home. The defense has really picked it up. You've seen what they did to the Chargers just 2 weeks ago. Held them to 7 points, I want to say. Beat them 21-7 or somewhere in that range. How could the Detroit Lions come in and score 15 points, 17 points? I don't see it here. I really don't. Detroit's down both their running backs. Jamal Williams on COVID. DeAndre Swift already ruled out. TJ Hawkinson might not play in this game. You know what I mean? So it's like
Jamar Jefferson.
Jamar Jefferson and Josh Reynolds and Amon-Ra St. Brown, they're going to beat the Denver Broncos, Pat Surtain, and you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. It's not. So for me, the 10.5, I like it. I like to tease it down just to be safe, but I think they blow them out, really.
Yeah, I think it's a lock. We know golf can't play in no cold weather.
27-13. I'm going to give the Detroit Lions 13 points, so I like the under because I don't think Denver's going to, maybe Denver comes out and scores 50. I mean, you never know, but I like the under in this one, and I like Denver for sure.
Yeah, Denver 10.5. I like it. Let's move on.
Okay. We got the New York Giants on the road against the Los Angeles Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers minus 10.5 at home, over under 43. I'm going to take the under because Los Angeles Chargers are missing some playmakers, really. No Keenan Allen. Mike Williams, we got to wait and see if he's going to be able to play. That news will come out tomorrow with this video, come out at the same time. The Giants, what could you say? They have Saquon Barkley, and that's pretty much it. All receivers are injured or banged up a little bit, and you got Mike Glennon under center. There ain't much to say here. I like the Chargers at 10.5. I would tease it. I would throw it in a big teaser because it's pretty much a lock in my opinion. The Chargers are just a better football team overall. The defense, the secondary is great. They do give up run, so I could see Saquon Barkley have a very effective day here if he's healthy and ready to go. And they give him the ball enough. That's what I had to argue with. That's the only chance they got in this game. But I like the Chargers ultimately double digits.
Yeah, with Saquon Barkley, though, he's been doing dog shit the last couple of weeks. And, you look at it this week, and the ankle has showed up for this game as well. So, that could be just completely flat. I'm not sure, but I like the L.A. Chargers a lot in this game. Keenan Allen is out, and we're just waiting for one negative from Mike Williams, which will likely happen given that he's already had one. So, we like this. What more concerning news to me is Austin Eckler. Yes, he's been hampered a little bit. You know what I mean? Questionable this week as well. So hopefully he does completely, fully go in this game. And if he does, slice out.
Yeah, of
barbecue
course.
Chicken. We got it 10.5. I like to tease it down 7 points, 3.5, and you got yourself a winner.
Yep, of course. So on to the next matchup, San Francisco 49ers at Cincinnati Bengals. This is the smallest spread at 1.5. San Francisco favored on the road. 49 over under. Once again, I'm a little surprised 49ers favored here a little bit.
49 over and under on 49ers.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
I think they win this game.
You might have to go with them. San Francisco, coming off a tough loss to the Seattle Seahawks. Divisional game, you knew it was going to be close.
I told you they was going to lose money line.
You know what? I'll tell you what. The refs helped them out a little bit, too, in that game. It was very, very questionable calls in certain spots. But, hey, they got the victory. I'll take nothing away from Seattle. San Francisco, no Elijah Mitchell. Already ruled out. Deebo Samuel, going to try and give it a go, but it doesn't look pretty. He missed most of practice all week. What does that leave? Brandon Ayuk, Jimmy G to make plays, which he's been turning the ball over now because he's throwing too much. You got Jeff Wilson, who hasn't looked explosive to me.
He sucks.
And JaMychal Hasty, I think, could be okay in this game, to be honest. Cincinnati.
They
just
got Brian
blown
Hill
out.
off the practice squad, too.
No, come on. Cincinnati just got blown out by the Chargers. Now they're looking to rebound at home against San Francisco 49ers. What can you say about this game? Cincinnati, they can run the football effective with Joe Mixon. He should hopefully be healthy. T. Higgins, I know, was a little bit banged up with the ankle. Jamar Chase. This could be high scoring. So 49 for me, I like the over. I mean, if you want to tease it to 42 and then go over that, because I really think there's going to be a lot of points to be had in this game. Cincinnati's been scoring a lot of points. The 49ers have been giving up points too and scoring points. So I really think both these teams could score in the 30s here. So for me, I like the over of 40 if you were to tease it down to 42. And I am going to take the San Francisco 49ers once again. I'm going to back them even without a few playmakers on offense because I just think they're going to be able to get it done. I don't know what to make of Cincinnati. They play great in spots, and then they get blown out by teams that they shouldn't be losing to, you know? So I'm going to back the 49ers. I know you're going the other way, but it's going to be close, 1.5.
Oh, yeah, the spread, 1.5. Take a breath, 49ers. You're going to lose again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got Cincinnati money line. You know what I mean? The only reason why Cincinnati is not favored in this game is because Joe Mixon, and he's been sick, but he's going to go anyway. That's been the big news today. And Joe Burrow, you know what I'm saying, the pinky on his throwing hand. They saying in practice he's making all the throws. So, you know, I don't see there's a shot in hell that the Niners win this game at all. You take your best players on offense, Deebo Samuel, Mitchell. If these guys don't go, you have nothing else. I don't see how they put up points or even get close to this number. You know what I mean? I really don't. I think Cincinnati, this is a one where they rebounded in this game. Yeah, Joe Burrow got hurt in that last game, and they probably could have won that game. Who knows? But I think they win this game handily. Who can guard Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd in this game? They got great matchups against the secondary. Yes, Josh Norman been forcing the ball out. You know what I'm saying? But he's going to have to do that every play for them to not be effective, especially with Joe Mixon behind the line. You know what I mean? They're running through it. Yes, San Francisco not got the number 3 DVOA against the run, but Joe Mixon is playing at a different speed right now. You know what I mean? So hopefully, you know, he can get this done. Yeah.
Joe Mixon playing at a different speed. Wow.
Yeah, he is. He is I mean, you know, I've been one of these guys that can't stand him. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, he's playing at a different speed. 7 games, 7 touchdowns. It is what it is. So, you know, you can't take that away from the Cincinnati Bengals team. And they are one of these teams that's on the cusp of making the playoffs, period. They should be in the top 10 of power rankings. Them or the Chargers regardless. You know, it's hard to keep them out and keep Buffalo in my opinion, at this point. But, you know what I'm saying? I think that the Bengals get this one done. Even if it's a close one, I think they still get it done. I got a lock money line upset. I'm taking the home dog. Cincinnati, we got this going.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm all right with that because, like I said, I know it's going to be a close game either way.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills on the road against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, game of the week. Really?
Stinker.
3.5. But Tampa Bay is favored at home. 53.5 over under. And it's hard to back any Buffalo Bill at this point because they just haven't played very well on the season. We've seen them blow out very bad teams. That's pretty much it. And they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Outside of that, they've played pretty poorly. And they've lost in bad games. And last week's game, you could almost throw out altogether. I mean, 55, 60 mile per hour winds.
Because there's a significant stat in that game. New England only threw the ball 3 times, and they still lost.
Did you watch the game? It was 3rd and 9, and it was 3rd and 9, and New England's handing the ball off and getting 2 yards.
You
just
can
like,
never say that Josh Allen is better than Lamar Jackson because the difference between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and the San Francisco 49ers is even though the injuries happen with the Baltimore Ravens, key injuries, just like the Niners, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens find a way to win. Even with no injuries, this Buffalo team is not winning. So in games like this where your star quarterback should put it on his back, the games that you remember, he put it on his back, fuck everybody else, and won this game. Where has that been from Lamar? He could be for Allen. You know what I'm saying? He could be bad teams, but not good teams. You know what I mean? He has to. This is the whole key to this game, period. Look, Allen has to put this game on his back because outside, you look at the offense. They can't run the ball, and they're not going to run the ball against these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You look at the offense. Stephon Diggs is giving them wide receiver 1 floor every single week that he has played. So you can't say it's Stephon Diggs. You can't say that it's Emmanuel Sanders grabbing passes. You can't say that it's Darwin Knox that's come up and been this third year breakout at tight end that we foreseen coming. It's your quarterback. You have to use your legs and your mobile ability, and you have to use your arm. Or the team don't trust his arm. Is he hurt? This is the questions that I have with Josh Allen right now. He's playing like that same guy that came in the league out of Wyoming a few years ago. And this is going to be the difference against the GOAT. In California, we do have Josh Allen. But we also got a South Bay boy that I back where I'm from. That's the GOAT. And in this game, this 3.5, Tampa Bay 4-1 against the spread at home, winning by 21 points. I got Tampa Bay all day long.
Okay. I'm going to take Tampa Bay too, just because Buffalo I can't back. I had Buffalo circled here at plus 3.5 because I think it might be close, but it's hard to back Buffalo at this point. But they tend to step up in some of these games. In my opinion, Josh Allen is playing a lot, or he's in this rut where we've seen Patrick Mahomes at.
Yeah,
where it's like you're almost like you're trying to overplay your talent. Yes, you're a good player, but you also got to realize the game is not just built on these big plays downfield. You got to be able to move the football, move the chains, and you see it.
Why isn't he running as much? I don't understand.
I don't either. I don't know whether the coach doesn't want him to or what's going on, but I know with Patrick Mahomes, he's learning to check it down more. You see the running backs, their targets are starting to uptick, increase. You see Tyreek Hill, his depth of target is a lot lower than he used to be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Why? Because they've understood that, hey, we need to give our defense some rest. We got to be able to move the chains because if we fall behind in these games, we can't catch up on those big plays no more. You know what I mean? So it's like we got to be able to use time management.
Where's that time management been against bad teams when they've blown these guys out 40-0. You know what I'm saying? But when they play good teams, you wanted to talk about time management and the team.
They have a great defense too. That's the thing. They have absolutely. They have a great defense too. Josh Allen's also turned the ball over a decent amount too. But
my lock in this game is the over 53.5. Tease it to 7, and you got yourself a winner.
Okay, and Tampa Bay, we're going to be both on it. So Sunday Night Football, Chicago Bears. The Bears on the road against the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field, 12.5. Green Bay's favored, 43 over under.
Aaron Rodgers owned him.
It's true. It's true. And Justin Fields supposed to return. So how could you pick him against the Green Bay Packers? 12.5 is a huge, huge number.
It really is.
You know, and Chicago's defense, even though it's been bad in spots, they tend to play up, especially against divisional foes like Green Bay. I want to back 12.5 for Chicago. I really do, just because I think Green Bay could win by 10.
Yeah, you know it seemed like a trap. Like, you know what I mean? Green Bay, we know they 10-2 against the spread on the season. 5-0 at home against the spread. But 12.5, they ain't been favored by that much in a long time. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know about that 12.5.
Yeah, Green Bay for sure to win. There's no way the Chicago Bears, no way in hell the Chicago Bears are going to pull off this victory. But
I seen earlier the over and under for the Chicago Bears was 14.5. So can they get there?
At 14.5, I would take Chicago. Just on the 14.5.
No, that they put up, they total points. 14.5.
If Chicago can put up 14.5 points?
Yeah. Over and under, what would you pick? That's what I'm saying. Well, outside of David
Green
Montgomery,
Bay's defense played so well.
You know, that's what I mean. Like David Montgomery, okay, maybe he get a run. He's been banged up with sex injuries all week. You know what I mean? Mooney's been playing particularly well. You know what I mean? Maybe they get some passes to Cole Kmet, Jimmy Graham, these guys.
I worry about Justin Fields being rusty. You know what I mean? Because 2-3 weeks off, and he's already rookie. And yes, he started playing a little bit better, but it's still Justin Fields. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So I'm going to take Green Bay at the 12.5, man. I'm just going to back it. I think Chicago is going to struggle to score points, and I think Green Bay should be able to score points at will. And I think it might be over, but I'm torn. I mean, Chicago gets 14 points. Is Green Bay going to score 30 points?
I'm torn on like just getting this bet right. But you know what? For me right now, I think it's Green Bay or die.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think I'm gonna take 12.5.
Okay, yeah, we're both on Green Bay then.
Because how can I give them? I just don't see it.
I know. Yeah. Monday Night Football: Los Angeles Rams at the Arizona Cardinals is another great matchup. Arizona at home, favored -2.5, 51.5 over under. Arizona already beat Los Angeles Rams once this season. And here's the deal: these teams tend to split. They just do. So I'm going to lean with the Rams here at +3.5.
Okay.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Matthew Stafford, hopefully they can get that offense back right. You saw it last week. Obviously, they put up 38 points against a terrible Jacksonville team. This is the Arizona Cardinals we're talking about, and have played very, very good on the season so far. Coming off a game in which Kyler Murray only threw the ball 15 times, ran the ball. You know, they're talking about, he's questionable, and, will be a game-time call. He's out there running circles and running laps around these guys. You tell me he's barely ready? Come on now. 10 carries at 2 touchdowns. But I'm going to take the Rams here in this one. I think they just get the victory. They need it. 1, 2. The Arizona Cardinals. Are they going to let down at all this season? Because they're playing outstanding football. I mean, really, 9-2 at the moment? Or 10-2? and they have a loss against the Green Bay Packers, which was
almost
close.
too good to be
and
true.
Colt McCoy lost one. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, is Arizona going to let down in this one? And I think they might possibly. So I'm going to lean with the Rams at the plus 3.5. That'll get you your field goal, and I think it's going to be over. There's just too many. The offenses are too firepower. I'm going to take the over, 51.5.
Oh my God, I can't take the spread, but you know what? Just because I feel like it's a divisional game, they're going to split, and I think that the showing last week with the Rams, you know what I mean? If you had Sony Michel on your fantasy team, you're a winner. If you benched them, you absolutely suck. You know what I mean? I think they can get this done. You've seen this rhythm kind of guy get in there, move the chains. You know what I mean? I think it was a breath of fresh air that they really needed. Odell, in a situation where Robert Woods scored a touchdown against them earlier in the season, I really like the possibility of them just getting out and not struggling on offense at all here in this game. So I'm going to take the Rams to edge this game out, money line just to win. That 2.5, I don't know how maybe they win by 1 point. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not sure. But then this is the plus 2.5. I guess you could take the plus 2.5. But I like the Rams in this one. God, I hope I'm right. I'm gonna stay away from this betting, but
this is a pick 'em game. You know what I mean? So
pretty much.
I'm on the Rams also just because I think they're going to be able to get it done. Van Jefferson has stepped it up. You talked about OBJ getting mixed in there. Von Miller, hopefully, just another week of him getting acclimated in the defense. So we're both on the Rams. So now we can get at least to my best bet picks. We got the best bets that we're going to be looking at. And I just got a few teasers. I got 4 teams that I love the most. Baltimore, we talked about them. You're getting plus 9.5 against Cleveland. Cleveland's not going to blow out the Baltimore Ravens, at least more than likely. I like Baltimore at the plus 9.5. Tennessee, you tease it down to minus 1.5 because I think that game could be close either way. But I still think Tennessee, they're just too good of a football team overall, better coached. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give them at home the favor. Denver Broncos, 3.5 on the tees. Huge moral victory here to win big, especially this week with the news of Demaryius Thomas and the Detroit Lions. I just don't trust it. They're all hurt and sick and just really decimated. And then I like the Chargers, my last one, 3.5. Like I said with the Giants, you got
that too.
Mike Glennon and the misfits of unhealthy wide receivers. So I'm going to take the Chargers at the minus 3.5 on the tees.
All right, here we go. So I like to buy a point for the Tampa Bay game. They win by a field goal, 2.5. Cincy, upset home dog against San Francisco, mediocre 49ers. Yes, that is part of their name, if you didn't know, when they moved to Santa Clara. Dallas, 205. It's not, pretty, but I like it. 2.5 for my money. In a parlay, I got that. Even if you want to put these in a parlay, Seattle, Houston, over 41. Like I say, Davis Mills, good at home, 300, 2 touchdowns plus. And then you have the thing of the safeties, the too high. You know what I'm saying? Jamal Adams out for the season. Quandre Diggs dealing with injuries himself. So I don't see how that passing attack could really stop Houston at all. You know what I'm saying? If you take those 4 in a parlay, that's plus 1,000 for your money. 7-point teasers that I like. Again, mix and match all these. Seattle and Houston, 34 points. Kansas City at the 9.5, you get 2.5. Green Bay, 12.5, you get 5.5. In Tennessee, you get 1.5 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And those are my best bets.
Yep. So, once again, that was our matchup video heading into week number 14. So, if you have any questions or comments, drop in the comment section. We'll be glad to give you our opinions or our advice on anything fantasy related, NFL related, whatever you want to talk about. And while you're there, don't forget, like the video. Subscribe, share, thumb bell for all your season long. We're going to have the award shows. We're going to have, we're going to have your playoff matchups and all that good stuff too. So lots of good stuff coming. So for the first 4 downs, it's been B. Scott.
Godzilla the Great.
And we out.
Yeah.